Let's tackle one of humanity's biggest questions. Where did we all begin? It's a question that has fascinated, puzzled, and even divided people for generations, sparking curiosity in every corner of the world. For centuries, the answer has been shaped by power, politics, and prejudice. The stories we tell about our origins have often been influenced by those in control, who decided which voices were heard and which were silenced. The history many of us learned was selective, like a movie focused on one actor with everyone else blurred in the background. So much of the world's richness and diversity was left out of the frame. This version often starts in Europe, with explorers and thinkers supposedly bringing civilization to the world. It's a story that centers a single continent, ignoring the vast tapestry of humanity elsewhere. But what if that's not the real beginning? What if the true story is much older and much broader than we've been told? A new idea challenges this, suggesting we need to look elsewhere, to the very roots of humanity, deep in the heart of Africa. This perspective puts Black people at the very start of the human story, not as a footnote, but as the main character. It's a narrative that centers Africa and its people as the birthplace of us all. It's not just a correction, it's a rewrite. Claiming Black people are the original humans, the template for all others. This idea is backed by groundbreaking discoveries in genetics, archaeology, and anthropology. This bold claim is forcing a re-examination of race, ancestry, and what it means to be human. It invites us to rethink our connections to one another and to our shared past. We're diving into the claims, the science, and the history behind this perspective. We'll explore the evidence, the debates, and the implications for how we see ourselves today. This isn't about creating new divisions, but about seeking a fuller, more honest truth. It's about recognizing the complexity and unity of our origins. It's time to zoom out and see the whole picture, not just the one that's been framed for us, but the one that includes everyone everywhere from the very beginning. At the heart of this conversation is a revolutionary claim. Black people are the original unmutated form of humanity. Proponents argue Africa is not just the cradle of civilization, but of biology itself. Blackness as the source code for all humans. Other races, they say, are variations that developed through genetic drift and adaptation to different environments. This flips the old racial hierarchy, presenting melanin-rich features as the original human blueprint. The theory claims other groups carry only fragments of the full genetic code, while Black populations retain the original. It's a powerful reframing, moving the center of the human story from Europe to Africa. Supporters ground this in biology and genetics, pointing to DNA as evidence. They also critique anthropology and eugenics as biased fields, designed to justify white dominance. To truly understand human origins, they argue, we must look past these frameworks and listen to the silent story. To understand the science behind our shared ancestry, meet mitochondrial Eve, the most recent common ancestor from whom all living humans descend through an unbroken female line. She is not the first woman, nor the only woman alive in her time, but she is unique because her mitochondrial DNA has been passed down generation after generation to every person living today. Scientists traced her existence through mitochondrial DNA, a special genetic material passed exclusively from mother to child. This tiny molecule acts like a time capsule, allowing us to follow our maternal lineage back through thousands of years, connecting us to a single point in the distant past. The scientific consensus is that mitochondrial Eve lived in Africa about 200,000 years ago, during a period of dramatic change and evolution for early humans. This discovery supports the out of Africa model, which proposes that modern humans first appeared in Africa before migrating to populate the rest of the world, carrying her genetic legacy with them. Every person alive today, no matter where they are from, can trace their maternal ancestry back to this remarkable African woman, making her the mother of us all in a genetic sense. Supporters of the original humans theory argue that Eve was a Black woman, the carrier of the total human code, and that her features reflected the diversity and strength of early African populations. They see the incredible global diversity we witness today as the result of her descendants adapting to new environments, climates, and challenges, but the original blueprint for humanity started with her. For many, this story is more than just science. It's a reclaiming of a marginalized origin story, a powerful reminder of our shared roots and the importance of honoring where we all began. It places Africa and its people at the very center of the human journey, reminding us that our story is one of connection, resilience, and shared beginnings. Let's talk about melanin, the remarkable pigment that gives color to our skin, hair, and eyes, shaping the very first impression we make on the world. But melanin is much more than just a colorant. It's a complex molecule with a fascinating story. In the original humans theory, melanin is more than pigment. It's described as a biological processor, vital for life. Some even call it the motherboard of the body, suggesting it plays a central role in our biology and evolution. Scientifically, melanin's main role is protection. It absorbs UV radiation, preventing sunburn and protecting folate, crucial for healthy development, especially during pregnancy. This protective function is essential for survival in regions with intense sunlight. This is why humans in Africa under intense sun evolved dark skin. High melanin levels shielded early humans from harmful rays, allowing them to thrive in challenging environments. Proponents argue that high melanin is the original human trait, not an adaptation. They believe it's a foundational characteristic, deeply rooted in our earliest ancestors. Lighter skin, they say, is the adaptation, evolving as humans moved to regions with less sunlight, where the need to absorb more vitamin D became critical for health. In places like Northern Europe, less melanin allowed for more vitamin D production, helping people survive in environments with limited sunlight and colder climates. So high melanin is seen as humanity's default, with lighter skin as a later adjustment, a testament to our species' ability to adapt to new challenges and environments. Calling melanin the motherboard elevates its importance beyond color. It's a statement about original human vitality, resilience, and the deep connection between our biology and our environment. It suggests those with the most melanin are closest to the original blueprint, carrying a legacy that stretches back to the dawn of humanity. Whether as scientific protector or spiritual processor, melanin is key to our survival story, bridging the gap between our physical health and our cultural identity. It's not just skin deep, it's central to how humans thrived, adapted, and built communities across the globe. Melanin's story is the story of human adaptation and resilience, a living testament to our shared origins and the incredible journey of our species. Now let's talk Neanderthal DNA. Scientists discovered that many modern humans, especially those of European and Asian descent, carry 1 to 4% Neanderthal DNA. This admixture is largely absent in people of purely sub-Saharan African descent because Neanderthals lived in Europe and Asia. Supporters of the original humans theory see this as proof. Black people are the only pure Homo sapiens, while others are hybrids. The absence of Neanderthal DNA in black populations is presented as evidence of their status as the originals. Mainstream science, however, sees these DNA traces as part of our complex journey, not a measure of purity or value. These small percentages don't make anyone less human. They simply tell a story of ancient encounters. But for those reclaiming a narrative, the Neanderthal connection draws a clear biological line. To understand why the original humans theory resonates, we must face the history it stands against. For centuries, the opposite idea that black people were inferior justified slavery, colonialism, and violence. This wasn't just name-calling, it was systematic dehumanization with a legacy that still shapes our world. American history is filled with atrocities, race massacres, lynchings, and the erasure of black achievements. Even insurance companies labeled massacres as riots to avoid paying claims, trapping black families in poverty. This history of systemic racism is the soil in which the original humans theory grows. It's a direct response to being told you are less than human. Reclaiming the origin story is an act of resistance and self-affirmation. When you've been erased or cast as the villain, becoming the hero, the originator, is powerful. It's about healing from a history designed to break you. Think racism is history? Think again. In August 2025, Cincinnati residents found KKK recruitment flyers on their lawns, complete with QR codes and calls to arm yourselves. This wasn't a relic, it was a modern, organized effort to stoke fear and division. The flyers even named city officials, undermining trust in local leadership and law enforcement. Dane Calloway, analyzing the incident, voiced deep distrust of police, rooted in a long, troubled history with the black community. When those meant to protect you are seen as part of the threat, where do you turn? The police are investigating, but for many, that's little comfort. This event is a stark reminder. America's racist past isn't past, it's present. For Black communities, empowering narratives like the original humans theory are essential for survival and resilience. Words matter. The names we use shape our identity and our place in history. Terms like colored, Negro, Black, and African American each carry the weight of their era. Changing labels isn't just semantics, it's a struggle for dignity and self-definition. The video's speaker critiques even the word indigenous, arguing it was invented by settlers to control and categorize. Labels like Black or African American, though reclaimed with pride, were originally imposed from outside. These terms lump diverse peoples into a single category, erasing unique cultures and histories. That's why some seek new ways to identify, connecting to pre-colonial heritage or a universal human identity. The debate over words is really about who gets to tell the story. There are no easy answers, but the conversation is vital. It's about breaking free from imposed boxes and forging identity on your own terms. So where does this leave us? We've traced humanity's roots to Africa and explored the science, history, and power of identity. The evidence points to Africa as our shared ancestral home, a truth that should unite, not divide. The original humans theory is a bold counter-narrative, insisting on the value and beauty of Blackness. Whether seen as biological fact or metaphor, it's about healing and building pride. But we must be careful. Any theory that creates a hierarchy of pure versus remix can be dangerous. The real lesson is that we're all variations on a magnificent theme, one human family, rich and interconnected. Our differences are not glitches, but the beautiful patterns of our journey. We must confront ugly truths and validate marginalized voices while embracing our common humanity. Celebrate Africa's role in our story and the diversity that's blossomed since. The goal, a world where everyone is treated with dignity and equality because we are all human.